All right, let's dive straight into this explainer and uncover the actual hidden levers that will completely transform your physique. We're talking about everything from fixing that stubborn belly fat to mastering your sleep to building out those aesthetic muscle groups. And look, we have a lot of ground to cover today, including a pretty wild truth. Half of your so-called healthy protein snacks, yeah, they're basically just junk food wearing gym clothes, and they are quietly wrecking your metabolism right behind your back. So get ready, because this is your ultimate physique blueprint.
Here is the quick rundown of our 6 critical pillars for today. We'll hit the belly fat myth, the recomp cheat code, sleep as the 3rd pillar, optimizing your sleep hygiene, forging concrete forearms, and we'll wrap up with unskippable neck gains. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The belly fat myth. Okay, so you might have these crazy popping veins in your biceps, but your midsection is still stuck in winter hibernation. Why does that happen? Well, it's because endless crunches just do not work. Belly fat hangs on like gum stuck to the bottom of your shoe. And to make matters worse, those midnight protein bars or protein popcorn you're eating just to hit your macros, they're usually packed with chemical additives that have names sounding like Star Wars droids. Those additives create a chemical fog in your body and completely disrupt your hunger signals. So, to stop this absolute metabolic sabotage, you've got to use the invisible fat strategy. It's simple. Maintain a tracked calorie deficit using tools like Cal AI. You just snap a quick picture of that weird protein snack, and you can instantly spot those sneaky chemical additions and decode the junk before it ruins your progress.
And when it actually comes to burning that fat, skip the grueling, high-intensity cardio that just burns away your muscle and spikes your late-night cravings. You know, the ones where you end up demolishing half the fridge at 2 a.m. Instead, just rack up this daily step count, 7,000 to 10,000 steps. It provides free, low-effort fat burning right from your feet. It's consistent, it absolutely does not drain your central nervous system, and it actually helps lower your cortisol.
Moving on to Section 2, the recomp cheat code. Look, nobody wants to choose between looking like a stuffed Thanksgiving turkey while bulking or having arms that suddenly look like literal spaghetti when cutting. It's the ultimate lose-lose situation. So instead of playing that game, we're going to utilize your body's dimmer switch. We're going to pull fuel directly from your fat stores to build muscle at the exact same time. Now, you might be wondering, who can actually pull this cheat code off? Well, if you fall into one of these 3 groups, your body is totally primed for this dual adaptation. Beginners are basically walking around in God mode for easy gains. Higher body fat individuals, you're already carrying around a premium, built-in energy bank ready to be tapped. And comeback warriors, you've got muscle memory heavily on your side. To actually master this recomposition, you have to execute these 4 distinct steps without guessing. I really want you to focus on step 2 here, track nutrition and a slight deficit. This is exactly where you must swap out that healthy junk we talked about earlier for premium fuel. I'm talking whole food protein sources like chicken, eggs, or Greek yogurt. And here is why this is a massive game changer. Whole food protein actually burns up to 30% of its own calories just during the digestion process. It is the ultimate quiet burn that supercharges your calorie deficit while keeping your hunger completely stable.
So the absolutely crucial point to remember is that when you are in a deficit, your body becomes incredibly stingy. That means you have to hit this precise protein target, 1.6 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, to stop it from stealing energy from your hard-earned muscles. But seriously, this only works if the protein is high-quality premium fuel. If it is, your body's repair crew can actually use those amino acids to keep you locked in anabolic mode.
All right, Section 3, sleep, the 3rd pillar. You know, you can crush it in the gym and have your kitchen dialed in perfectly, but now we have to talk about the invisible pillar that completely dictates your hormones. Way too many lifters sabotage their entire week by scrolling on their phones at 2 a.m., totally forgetting that lifting weights just breaks your muscles down. The gym is just the stimulus. Deep sleep is where the actual repair crew shows up to build them bigger. And just like poor nutrition forces you to train with the handbrake on, sleep deprivation causes your body to struggle heavily with glucose use. If you mess your sleep up, the whole shebang crumbles. Honestly, skipping sleep is literally like walking around wearing an invisible weight vest. It tanks your testosterone by 10 to 15% almost overnight, and it flips your body into full sabotage mode by spiking your cortisol. And high cortisol is basically catabolism in liquid form. When you aren't sleeping, your hunger signals go completely rogue, and suddenly you're desperately craving that healthy junk food instead of the premium fuel your body actually needs. Which brings us to Section 4, optimizing your sleep hygiene. Knowing sleep is critical is one thing, but you have to actually optimize it. By executing these 4 steps,
like using blackout blinds to make your room look like Batman's cave, sticking to a strict circadian rhythm, and using natural supplements like zinc and magnesium instead of overusing melatonin, you create the literal perfect environment for muscle growth. Let me be clear, melatonin is like a fire extinguisher. It's great for emergencies, but you definitely don't want to spray it around your bedroom every single night.
And make sure you keep your bedroom dialed into this very specific temperature range, 17 to 20 degrees Celsius. Because let's be real, sweating bullets and tossing around all night like a rotisserie chicken will completely ruin your recovery. Keep it cool, keep it pitch dark, and keep it quiet.
Let's move on to Section 5, Forging Concrete Forearms.
All right, let's pivot back to the physical side and build out your visible aesthetic. If you want to stop looking like you've got wet noodles hanging out of your t-shirt sleeves, you must directly target this specific muscle, the brachioradialis. It does 90% of the visual work for your lower arm and gives you that thick, powerful look that screams strength before you even pick up a dumbbell.
To really attack the entire forearm squad, you have to train with purpose. We aren't just in there for popping veins. We're trying to fix the nasty imbalances that cause tennis and golfer's elbow. You want to use hammer curls for that aesthetic size, wrist rollers for bulletproof joint health, and grippers, or the old-school rice bucket, for absolute bone-crushing strength.
Finally, Section 6, Unskippable Neck Gains. We've got to address the most neglected muscle group on the entire human body. If your posture currently resembles a bendy straw trying to hold up a bowling ball, training the sternocleidomastoid directly is an absolute must. It acts as built-in armor, it fixes neck pain, and it completely transforms the way your physique actually looks in everyday clothes. This right here is a totally safe, highly effective neck routine that you can easily run 1 to 2 times a week. Notice how we are entirely avoiding dangerous movements like the neck bridge? Yeah, doing a neck bridge is basically just gambling with your spine, so don't do it. Start with a warm-up, move into curls, hit those extensions, and finish up with lateral flexion. It is simple, it's safe, and it is wildly effective. So here is the crucial takeaway for today. We have just laid out the ultimate blueprint. You need to prioritize whole foods for 90% of your intake and save those Star Wars droid junk food snacks for absolute break-glass emergencies only. Maintain that 15% calorie deficit, dial in your sleep hygiene, and train those aesthetic muscle groups directly. When you finally swap the junk for premium fuel, that stubborn fat gum will finally leave your midsection and reveal those 3D abs you have been grinding for. Now that you know all the hidden variables, what is stopping you from building your ultimate physique? Let's get out there and take control.